Are you familiar with the Mutant Mudds franchise? It was on Wii U, it was on 3DS, other platforms as well. Mutant Mudds Deluxe is coming to Switch. That franchise was made by Renegade Kid, but Renegade Kid no longer exists. One of the developers split off to make their own company, Atui, and Atui is the one that's handled this game, Chicken Wiggle. So same developer that was working on Mutant Mudds, but now they're trying out a new 2D adventure title about a chicken and a worm. And it's pretty fun. One of the best things about Chicken Wiggle is how straightforward it is. This is a classic 2D style platformer. You play as a chicken who has a worm friend in his backpack, because, you know, that happens in nature all the time. And the two of them team up to go rescue other chickens. There's a chicken in each stage and it's captured in a cage. And you have to get to the end of the stage to break them out of the cage. So, main objective is to get to the end of every stage and rescue your chicken friend. And then along the way there's other items to collect. There's 3 letters that spell out fun. Kind of like it wasn't Bubble Bobble, you could spell out Nintendo, but here you're spelling out fun, so those 3 letters are hidden in each level, so you gotta wander around and find them if you want to. You don't have to. But yeah, it's very straightforward, just platforming fun in a very classic style. Every good platformer has to have some kind of twist or tweak to its mechanics, and here, the chicken uses the worm to reach areas it couldn't otherwise reach. So what you do is basically like stretch out the worm across the screen and he can connect to walls or ceilings, and the chicken uses it as like a zip line or like a zip cord to like pull across to those locations. So if there's a platform on the ceiling you can't reach, you use the worm to zip up there, and then you can climb up to a higher area, or you use it to connect to a wall and zip yourself across a hole, stuff like that. You can also use the worm to hit enemies, and that stuns them, and then you go up and peck them with your beak to take them out. So the mechanics for the worm are throughout the entire game. You definitely have to use the worm to get to places and finish levels. And it's a lot of fun. It's really used in some interesting ways. There's some clever mechanics that are put to use, especially on later stages, that I don't want to ruin, but some ways that you have to get around and solve some very light puzzle platforming makes it even more fun. To spice things up a little bit more, some levels have power-ups in them, and they give you different abilities, obviously. So one of them makes you run really fast, which means you can jump over larger gaps than you could before. Another power-up lets you fly around a level, so you're constantly flapping to, you know, fly through spiked tunnels and stuff like that. There's a hard hat you can get that lets you peck with your beak through pretty much any block, so you can create your own path through a level, and that's probably one of my favorite ones just because it makes it so open-ended. Honestly, it reminded me a bit of SteamWorld Dig when it came to those levels, so the power-ups definitely are sprinkled in there to keep things fresh and engaging, and you never know what's coming, so I really like that. There's other power-ups in there too that I don't want to spoil, but yeah, just little things along the way to surprise you. Now, this isn't going to be a platformer that's super challenging or anything like that. There are a couple stages that will test you a little bit more than others, but by and large, it's a very easygoing, very straightforward experience. I would say it's more difficult than Kirby games, but, you know, Kirby games are known for being very easy, but still enjoyable. Same thing here, I just think overall there's a little bit more of a challenge, and that comes more into play if you're looking for the hidden letters, because while the F and the N letters are usually very easy to find, or fairly easy, the U can be hidden quite well sometimes, and again, this is stuff you don't have to collect, but if you're looking for more of a challenge, I would suggest going for that. But yeah, it's almost like this game is a great introduction to platformers to show you what they can do and what kind of fun they can provide and stuff like that. So anybody should be able to pick this up, play it, and enjoy it, and I really like that about it. Where Chicken Wiggle breaks tradition with classic platformers is the level editor. The level editor is very heavily inspired by what was in Super Mario Maker, and you get the same sort of functionality here. It's ridiculously easy to build a level, and you have all different themes to run through. Pretty much everything you see when you're playing through the single-player campaign, you'll be able to access in the level editor. So you can make whatever kind of challenging or super easy level you want to, which is really great. Then you can upload it online for other people to play. So it's like a mini Super Mario Maker, and I got so addicted to the level creation in Super Mario Maker, and the same thing happened here. It's just a ton of fun to create levels, and I can't wait to see what other people do, because this kind of feature could give the game legs for a really long time, depending on how many people support it, because you can make some really interesting, awesome stuff. And I'm always impressed with seeing how people use items and enemies and stuff like that in ways that I would have never considered. So if you're a fan of Super Mario Maker's level editor, then you should without a doubt enjoy what you're able to do here. And like I said, it can add a lot of life to the experience. Obviously, the level editor is one of the big draws for the game, but I think another one, at least for me, was the heart of the game. It's just, I don't know, it has a feeling to it that you don't get in games nowadays. It has a feeling that you got a lot during the Super Nintendo era. Just something charming about the game that I don't see a lot today, and it really struck a chord with me. And it's funny because that feeling came up more as I played on more. So I would play and stop and then pick it up the next day, and I'd be hit with that wave. I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice. Oh, I like this music. Oh, this platforming is fun. Just nice little touches here and there. And then I would watch someone else play, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'd get like a warm, fuzzy feeling, which is something I wasn't expecting, and it was nice to get that. There's no doubt the game takes inspiration from platformers during the Super Nintendo era, but to get that level of charm, to get that same feeling, I don't know how that was achieved. For all I know, other people won't feel that, but I can tell you when I was playing, I certainly did. Chicken Wiggle might not be the most amazing platformer I've ever played, but it's certainly one with charm and heart, and it's fun. There's something to be said for that straightforward experience. It harkens back to the Super Nintendo days, and for a lot of people, that'll be a good thing. So if you like 2D platformers, you might want to check this one out. If you like Super Mario Maker's editor, then without a doubt you want to check out this game, because like I said, it works great, it shares a lot of the same functionality, and I'm so eager to see what people do. For what the game lacks in single-player difficulty when it comes to the campaign, I have no doubt that other players will be able to create amazingly intense challenges with the editor. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, it's a platformer with heart, and it's a new IP on the 3DS on the eShop in a day and age where we don't really see that kind of thing. So that's pretty damn nice. So if you like platformers and you like chickens and wiggling and worms, I think you should check this one out. Hey guys, RMC here from Go Nintendo. If you like what you saw in the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe? We'd love to have you. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check out GoNintendo.com for 24-hour Nintendo news. You can visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GoNintendo. You can check us out on Twitter at Twitter.com/GoNintendoTweet. And we're even over on Instagram at Instagram.com/GoNintendo. I put all the links in the description just to make it easier for you guys to follow. Thanks a lot.